Hello everyone, I'm Karen. Today I thought I could do another video. Today I thought I'd do my Solo Beatles collection. I was thinking about doing this one for quite a while, because I've got a lot of Beatles and Solo Beatles records. I've done my Beatles records already, so if you want to see that, go to the channel. And I thought I'd do my Solo Beatles singles and LPs. I've shown the singles before in my singles collection video, so I might not discuss them in a bit of long detail, but we'll see how this one goes. Anyway, so we have John Lennon first. We're going to show you my John Lennon singles. John Lennon and Yoko's Plastic Ono Band, Happy Christmas, War is Over. And the B-side is Yoko, unfortunately. And Listen, the Snow is Falling. I would like to get this one in its picture sleeve, because they did release this in a picture sleeve. And they released a copy of this on green vinyl in America. Which I hope I might get someday, but anyhow, this is pretty good. That one. We have one of John's best solo singles, probably his best solo single, Imagine, and Working Class Hero. Just Like Starting Over, 1980 on Geffen Records, or Geffen, how do you say it? And Yoko Ono, Kiss Kiss Kiss, both are from the Double Fantasy LP. Woman, John Lennon, again, 1980, and Beautiful Boys, which is Yoko Ono. Not a bad Yoko song actually, don't really like Yoko Ono songs, but there's a few Yoko songs I do like. Elton John and John Lennon, 28th of November 1974. This is Elton John's Thanksgiving concert at Madison Square Garden, New York, where they play 3 songs. I Saw Her Standing There, Whatever Gets You Tonight, and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And after this performance, John reunited with Yoko backstage after being 18 months apart, and this is on the DGM label, which was Elton John's label at that moment. Nobody Told Me, John Lennon, with Oceanity by Yoko on Polydor, 1984. Number McCartney and Wings singles, Band on the Run, and Zoo Gang. That's a German copy. I would like to get a British copy. Wings, Venus Mars Rock Show, and Magneto Entertainer Man on Capitol from 1975. Wings, Malakantaya, 1977, Girls' School, sorry, from Capitol. I have another copy of that. With a Little Luck, 1978 from Wings, Backwards Traveller Cufflink on the B-side. Wonderful Christmas Time, Paul McCartney on Polyphone, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reggae. Coming Up, 1980, with Coming Up Live and Lunchbox Odd Socks on Polyphone. This is 1980. Um, 1980 again, Waterfalls with Check My Machine. Not in its original sleeve, unfortunately. I'd like to get one with the picture sleeve. Take It Away, 1982 with I'll Give You a Ring on Polyphone. Quite a lot of these are the Polyphone label. Ebony and Ivory with of course Stevie Wonder and Rain Clouds on Polyphone. This is a solid centre copy. And I have one with a 4-prong centre that's not in its sleeve. Pipes of Peace, 1983, and So Bad. Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, Say Say Say, and Ode to a Koala Bear, Polyphone. I would like to get Michael Jackson's single "The Girl Is Mine" that he did with Paul McCartney. I'd like to get that one. Paul McCartney and Frog Chorus, of course, We All Stand Together from '84. Polyphone with We All Stand Together humming version, which is Paul McCartney in something called The Frenchly Frogettes. I have no idea what that's all about, but anyway. There's that one. Paul McCartney, No More Lonely Nights from 1984. 2 versions of that song. No More Lonely Nights, the ballad version, and No More Lonely Nights play-out version from 1984. It's a different Polyphone label. Once Upon a Long Ago, 1987, and Back on My Feet. This is for his All the Best compilation. I've got a few George Harrisons, All Those Years Ago, with Writers on the Wall from 1981 on the Dark Horse label. Got My Mind Set on You, and Lay His Head from 1987. It's on a different Dark Horse label for some reason. I think this is a later issue, I'm not exactly sure. And of course, Traveling Wilburys Handled with Care. I forgot to show this in my Tom Petty vinyl collection video. I don't know why, but anyway, now I'm showing it now. Traveling Wilburys Handled with Care, which was of course a supergroup with Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, Roy Orbison, and George Harrison. I would like to get the Traveling Wilburys Volume 1 and 3 album. Just haven't really found it yet for a good price, but I'm hoping it will do. So there's that. And the Handled with Care side, and Margarita on the B side. 1988 that was. Ringo Starr's Back Off Boogaloo, 1972, and Blind Man, it's a different Apple label. Doesn't have its censor. Photograph, and Down and Out from Ringo. And the last Ringo on it single is You're 16, and it's backed with Devil Woman from that label. It's American pressing. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to show you the albums now. Okay, so we're going to show you my solo albums now. This might be a multi-part video because I've got quite a lot of solo albums to show you. So we're going to start with John Lennon's Imagine from 1971. Probably a good time to show this because this album's going to get re-released with the Imagine film with the, and also Give Me Some Truth, the making of Imagine, which I might get as a standalone DVD because Give Me Some Truth, the making of Imagine, was just them filming the recording of the Imagine album, and the Imagine album, I think the Imagine film, which was a selection of just music and some videos of John and Yoko traveling the globe. I've got that on tape somewhere. But anyways, this is the 1971 Imagine album. There's that. I like the cover. Really, really cool cover. And it's got a quote down the bottom there from Yoko. It says, "Imagine the clouds dripping, dig a hole in your garden to put them in." She wrote that in 1963. Unfortunately this copy doesn't have the postcard or the poster. They're quite hard to get now, but I managed to print out a copy of the poster with it. So just this is I printed out. In a sleeve with that, and the lyrics, and there's the label, which I quite like because side 1 is John and the apple in the centre, and the half apples on the on side 2. So I'm missing quite a lot of John's solo albums, but I'm hoping to get them. What songs do I like? I really like the whole album's great. Love Imagine, Crippled Inside, Jealous Guy, Give Me Some Truth, Oh My Love, How, and Oh Yoko, the ones I really like. So yeah, there's a lot of good songs in this album. It's probably my favourite solo John album. It's probably my favourite solo John album. We have Mind Games from 1973. I'm missing Plastic Ono Band, Sometime in New York City. Those are the only two I'm missing, I think, but I've got the others. But this is Mind Games from 1973. Those tracks. I like the title track, that's a great one. And Night the Blues pretty good as well. And so is Meat City as well, you know. Yeah, quite a cool cover art. Inner sleeve with the lyrics. And we're on the normal Apple label, which is quite nice. I've always liked the Apple label. Oh, I've always liked that Apple label design. I've always found it very intriguing, should I say. Then we have the Walls and Bridges album from 1974. Realize When Love Whatever Gets You Through the Night. What You Got, Number 9 Dream, Nobody Loves You When You're Down and Out. Yeah, so there's a few good songs here. Got a very cool cover art. Particularly the back is a very cool picture of John. So you've got these cool like flaps that you can sort of rearrange the picture in whatever way. Quite a cool one there. And there's that. See, that's what it looks like. And we get, this is quite cool because you get some inserts in here. Well, I say inserts. You can get, yeah, you can get inserts as well. So you get a book with it, which is a nice picture of John with the lyrics and the drawings. And we we have an inner sleeve. And again, Apple 1974. We have John Lennon Rock and Roll, which was his covers album, 1975. It was his last album that he put out before he went into a bit of a hiatus because his son Sean was born in October 1975, and so John put his music career on hold to raise Sean. There's the tracks. I like the Bebopalula, Stand By Me, Peggy Sue, and Just Because are the ones I really like. It's not a bad album, really, you know. But this was the last of 3 albums he made during his Lost Weekend with that he was separated from Yoko. This copy isn't in great condition. I got out a guy's collection. It's a bit beat up. There's a bit of tape on the back, and the labels. The record's pretty thrashed, beat up. I probably should get a bit of a better copy of this one. Oh, and another track that stands out here as well, called Slipping and Sliding. That's a good one. Yeah. So there's that one. Here's the 81 reissue from MFP. Not much difference to it. So the cover's a bit, picture's a bit enlarged, and so is the title of the album. There's the MFP label. MFP has re-released quite a few Beatles and solo albums. Quite a nice design, actually. Quite a nice clean white in the sleeve. That. Then we have the Shaved Fish compilation, which of course came out in '75, which John put out in '75. This was the only compilation to be released in John's lifetime. He kind of put this out because he really, I heard of an interview that he did with the BBC just a few days before he died, and John said in an interview that if he didn't put out this work, some of it was going to go, you know, no one would give a damn about the record company or anything like that, and he couldn't find the original master recordings of some of these songs, and he had to use dubs, and some of the songs are like 6 years old to a year old, you know, many of these recordings, you know. But this was a good way at the time, because this was at the first place you could get some of John's singles that you couldn't, that were not on any of his albums. So they kind of make their first album appearance on here, you know. But there have been good compilations since then, really. There's the songs. We have 2 inner sleeves. We have the original one that has the lyrics in the back, which John always included his lyrics except for rock and roll. And there's the plain white in the sleeve. And this is the final John Lennon release on Apple. The last album he released on Apple. Because his contract with EMI expired, and he didn't sign with another record deal for another few years. Of course, Apple released the Beatles albums, the later Beatles albums, and they also re-released the first few solo albums from all 4, John, Paul, George and Ringo, except for Paul. Paul got off Apple a bit early. Can't really understand why. And then John didn't do an album for 5 years. He was mainly spending time with Sean and Yoko. They would go on holiday in different places, and so John, Yoko and Sean, and so John and Yoko didn't really make another album for another few years. Until in 1980, fans were delighted to hear that John was coming back in the studio and making new music. And the result was this album, Double Fancy, the feature Joker album from 1980. It's a good comeback album, but yeah, it's pretty good. I really like a lot. I really love John's songs. Just like Starting Over, I'm Losing You, Watching the Wheels, Woman and Dear Yoko. I like a few of Yoko's songs, like Hard Times Are Over and Beautiful Boys, and Every Man Has a Woman Who Loves Him. So Yoko doesn't do some too bad songs in here. So yeah, Of course, this was the album that John was the last album that John made in his lifetime. He was then murdered 3 weeks later, which was a real shock, you know. And we've got the lyrics though, and the credits on who does what, who plays what, the where it was recorded and such. So pretty much everybody who was involved in the album. And we're on Geffen Records, or Geffen, how do you say that? Geffen Records. Quite a nice label design. So yeah, John and Yoko were given interviews because of this LP. You know, it's just kind of unfortunate that's how it turned out. And I have a German pressing. It's not really much difference. Except for the way the songs are kind of laid out on the label. I have a bit of a battered copy of Double Fantasy, same as the first one I showed. Yeah, it's not in that great condition, but it plays fine. And we have the John Lennon Collection, which is a really good compilation actually. I really recommend getting this one if you want to learn about John's solo career. This is a good one for you, you know. This is a really good one, you know. This came out on Parlophone in the UK for some reason. These two pictures were taken just a few hours before John was murdered. He was doing a photo shoot for Rolling Stone magazine, and so these two pictures are kind of outtakes from that session. He's doing a bit of a cool pose there. And these are the songs. There's the inner sleeve with John with a guitar there, and we have the lyrics. And there's the Parlophone label, 2-box silver label. Quite a nice label actually. I do quite like the Parlophone design. I'm always interested in the history of the Parlophone designs, because particularly with the first Beatles album, Please Please Me, and of course the 60s Parlophones. Later, of course, the other Beatles albums as well were released on Parlophone. And so yeah, I'm always fascinated with the designs of many of these record labels. Then we have, of course, the posthumous album, Milk and Honey, which these were some songs I think John recorded during the Double Fantasy sessions, and I think there's some Yoko ones that were recorded during Double Fantasy sessions, not too sure. There were quite a few like songs that John had recorded. He didn't quite finish them. They weren't yet quite finished. He was supposed to finish them at a later date, but they never happened. He was, I think, talking about a follow-up to Double Fantasy, you know. And this was kind of the results. So yeah, I look at these artworks, Double Fantasy and Milk and Honey, are kind of similar artworks. This one's taken in black and white, and this one's colour. They're both kind of similar in a way, which I found something quite extraordinary. Maybe this is a gatefold. What songs I like Stepping Out, that's a great one. So is Nobody Told Me, and Borrowed Time, and Grow Old With Me, the ones I really like. Let Me Count the Ways by Yoko's pretty good, you know. She's alright, really, you know. But I know not many Beatles fans like Yoko. Inner sleeve, the lyrics, and this is Yoko. Liner notes in the album. And it's the Polydor label. Now John and Yoko had been on Geffen, but there was but Yoko and David Geffen, who was the executive of Geffen Records, had a bit of a falling out, and Yoko ended up putting this out on Polydor. This is a very flimsy record. This record came out in 1984. Oh, that's the plastic thing. So yeah. Then we have, of course, the live album, live in New York City, which was recorded at a concert called 1 to 1, I think, which was a concert John made an appearance at for mentally disabled children of America, and John made an appearance at this concert. Unfortunately, Yoko appeared at this concert, but she took her part parts of the concert out and made it into a John album, which I think is a good idea, you know. This is one I have in the sleeve. I might get these type of sleeves, you know. They're quite nice, these sleeves. I really like the design of them as well. The resealable flap. Yes, I might get these sleeves, you know. It's got a cool cover. I've always liked this cover. It's a really good live album too. And there were 2 shows on this day. There was an afternoon and an evening show. I'm not sure what night was used for this album. There's the sleeve, pictures of the show and the band, called Elephant's Memory Band, and there's a ticket for the show for the 30th of August 1972. That was the date, and we're on Polyphone. We're on a different label now. This is quite an intriguing design, quite cool. So a really good album, really good live album, even though this was one of John's few concerts that he did. Because he did the appearance in Toronto with the Plastic Ono Band. He also did a few live recordings he did a concert with George Harrison, Keith Moon and Yoko. But yeah, he didn't really do that many concerts in his life, and he did appear at the Elton John concert, which was kind of his last. And I would have loved to have seen John. It would have been cool to have seen John do more concerts, you know. I mean, he did have plans to tour. There were talks of following Double Fantasy up with a tour, but of course they never happened really. But we've got the Imagine soundtrack, music from the motion picture, which is a documentary on John's life, really. It's a great documentary, really recommend you check it out. And this is its soundtrack. We've got some Beatles songs on record 1 and some solo songs on record 2. And there's one called Real Love, which was of course the Beatles made from John's cassette demo, put instruments over John's cassette demo over piano. There's pictures of John of his childhood days, his days with the Beatles, and his later life. And inner sleeve has this, and with the songs and who plays on them, if there are any music appearances, and when they were recorded. And there's the same Polyphone label. This came out in 1988. The second LP is the same, so I won't show you that. But so yeah, that's that. Now we're on to Paul McCartney. Kind of cool showing these because Paul McCartney's doing his UK tour in December, and I've seen him in Glasgow. And I'll be seeing him in Glasgow on the 14th of December. So yeah, here's his first album, McCartney, from 1970. I really like The Lovely Linda, That Would Be Something, Every Night, Ooh You, and Maybe I'm Amazed, yeah. It's a gatefold, it's 1970 this one, and we're on the Apple label. So this came out just after the Beatles split, about a week after the Beatles split. This came out. This is that. Oh. And I have a 70s reprint on the Capitol label. I think this came out in 75, this reissue, or some point in the 70s. Then we have Band on the Run. This is a lot of people's favourite. This is a very popular album, this one. It's 1973, this one. This copy isn't in amazing condition. It's always very hard to find this in good condition. There's a lot of ring wear on it, you know, which is never really that great. But I like Band on the Run, that's a great song, and so is Jet, and yeah, those are 2 great ones, yeah. I've only heard bits of some of the albums, you know, like a couple of tracks on some of these albums, you know. But this album comes, with a poster, which is cool. It's always cool when the record, when the artists put in posters and that in their albums. And this is quite cool. But like what the Beatles did in their with their White Album, they made they put in a poster with photos, and that's what Paul McCartney's Double Band on the Run, he's put in a poster, and a picture sleeve with lyrics. And there's the label, which is quite cool. There's Paul McCartney there, Danny Lane and Linda, who is Paul's wife, of course. Quite a lot of Paul and Wings albums I'm missing, which I'm hoping to get. if I can, wherever I can get them, really. I keep misplacing my plastic sleeves for some reason. Then we have a bit of a better condition Band on the Run with the poster, and the inner sleeve. Of course, both poster and inner sleeve are in much better condition too, and same label design as well. Not really much to it. Then we have Venus and Mars. I've always liked this cover for some reason. I've always really liked this cover with the two balls, the two circles in the cover. One's yellow and one's red. I've always liked that. And we have the lyrics in the back. I love Venus and Mars and Rock Show. And listen to what the man said. And Medicine Jar's really good too. Yeah. And there's the gatefold. The band. Somebody drawn some. Now this would have come with posters and stickers, but unfortunately my copy does not contain them. I'd like to find a copy that does. We do have a really cool inner sleeve. I've always liked this artwork, you know. So, and we're on Capital 1975. With these two red and yellow circles at the label, which is really cool. It's a pretty cool designs of this album and artwork. So there's that one. And of course there's the follow-up, Wings at the Speed of Sound, 1976. This is an American pressing. It's a really good album. I like Letterman and Silly Love Songs as well. Even you get some of the band members singing as well. Like Denny sings a song. Oh, Denny sings a couple songs. And you get one from Jimmy and one from Joe. You know, Jimmy McCulloch and Joe English. There's pictures of the band. Paul doing a bit of a cool face there. Yeah. There's the inner sleeve, which is pictures of a Wings show. An inner sleeve with pictures of the band making songs. And we're on Capital. This would have been on Parlophone in the UK. And I really like Warm and Beautiful as well. That's a good song in the album. We have Wings Over America, 1976 live album, containing some shows from their Wings Over America tour in 1976. Quite hard to get this because this is a 3 LP set. A little bit of ring wear, but it's not too bad really. It doesn't really bother me too much really. It's a really nice album. A lot of great performances on here, particularly Live and Let Die and Yesterday. He does some Beatles ones in here, just some of his Beatles songs. He does some Wings songs as well, you know, so what's that? Gatefold has a nice picture of Paul and the band on stage. There's Paul over there with the acoustic guitar. And there's Denny Lane over there, of course. It has 3 inner sleeves. Different label design, so I might just, well, show you. This is record 3. Sides 5 and 6. And we get a poster, which is like in here. This is records 1 and 2. Yep, that's cool label design. Really cool. Here's record 2. It's quite a lot in here, so may as well do some. This might be a multi-part video. This is my poster. This is the band. So it's quite a big poster, that. So there's that one. This is a UK press. I think it's on MPL Communications. Parlophone maybe. course, MPL's McCartney's. I'm not sure if it's his publishing thing or his label thing. Not too sure. But cool artwork. Wings Over America. We have London Town, which is 1978. I like the title track. I'm with a little luck's pretty good. And Girlfriend's pretty interesting as well. Michael Jackson does a version on his Off the Wall album. So it's, I like the concept of this cover. Now there's a black and white picture on the front, and on the back it's a colour photo. Unfortunately, this is missing the poster, but not too bad. I got this off a friend of mine. These are the lyrics. And quite a nice label design. Side 1. Side 2. Bit similar to the With a Little Luck single, how side 1 had that and the B-side had this. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop part 1 from here and go and do part 2.